It's not so much that it's horrible and traumatic, it's just I think the Sanders campaign was the best opportunity we had as a country in a long time.
There's this on Thursday.
He's somebody that has been consistent with his message for 30 years, and he hasn't been co-opted.
We could print out a map like this and just tag where we just need to know where the hotel, the convention center is, FDR Park, and Wells Fargo.
There's too many people that get political power in this country that they grew up in families where both parents were home. Everybody that was an adult was able to find a job. Transportation was never a challenge, and they make the rules for people that their experience is completely different.
All right. More convention money.
Before the Sanders campaign, I was running a convenience store in the neighborhood.
I've lived here my whole life.
I've got a bachelor's degree in history and education.
I grew up, 14211 is the poorest zip code in Buffalo, Western New York.
And I just went right from college into working. The pay was better than a starting teacher, You make more selling Slurpees and hot dogs than you do teaching kids. So as soon as he announced, I pretty much said I know what I'm doing for the next year and a half. My hope out of the convention is that we have a new network of activists and new Democrats and lifelong Democrats that are working together to put new energy into the party.
Kate, you're having too much fun up there.
Make it more responsive to the rank and file, make it more progressive. The Sanders campaign has the potential to do that in the long run.
I think the Democratic Party needs a real shot in the arm of enthusiasm and people who aren't as cynical and just willing to play the game. On the other hand, I'm going to be very interested in seeing how many will stick around to do the hard work.
Everyone I've talked to who is involved in the Democratic Party now, it was a presidential campaign that's brought them in. So I think a lot of people that got involved in the Sanders campaign, if they really supported Sanders and loved his message and want to see the change that he was talking about, they're going to be involved in local politics. They'll be doing something.
Monday credentials, Monday credentials, Monday.
November's a while away. I was brought into the party because of Sanders' message and what he had to offer. And if the Democratic Party puts forward a program
114, 115.
or commits itself to enough of what Sanders was championing, it becomes very easy to support the nominee in that case.
Want to grab seats in this row?
If they choose not to do that, it's more challenging. I was aware of Sanders and what he was doing in Vermont and how he got elected to the U.S. Senate. When you win 70% of the vote and you're calling yourself a democratic socialist, that's a big deal.
You guys both delegates? Hi, I'm from Buffalo, New York.
A big thing that democratic socialists are trying to do is shift the narrative to build awareness of the issues with our existing economic system and how the established economics and politics aren't solving social problems for us.
Before Berning, maybe half as many, I would imagine. Right now, the moment for democratic socialism, I think, is much bigger exactly because of Bernie. So we have a lot to thank him for.
Bernie is who he is because he's a democratic socialist. So if you believe in Bernie's politics, just tell other delegates they should build a democratic socialist movement, and an unorganized democratic socialist is a contradiction in terms.
At this point, it's about getting people elected to school boards, city councils, getting mayors elected, and building political power from the bottom up.
It's hard to build local movements when you don't have an example to follow. So it's nice to see people from all over the place sharing experiences of what they've tried and what's worked and what hasn't.
Brian, I mean, he hung in there and fought the good fight through California.
Kind of tickles a little bit.
Shouldn't it be time to sort of, yes, be part of this revolution and hope Hillary Clinton takes that in with open arms? But no, she's the person. It's Bernie Sanders who's likely going to symbolically say she gets the nomination today. Shouldn't you move and support that?
Are you talking about Sanders supporters overall, or me as an individual?
You as an individual.
Me as an individual? Like Greg said, this isn't about Bernie. It's much larger than that. We have a situation where people are essentially denied voting rights. We have a news media that's complicit in that. We have a campaign finance system and all sorts of behind-the-scenes trickery that leads to a situation where people like me and people like most of us on this panel, all of us on this panel, don't have a voice on a regular basis. When the cameras get turned off here at CNN, the feelings that people have behind the cameras are much different than they will put on television. Hey, thanks a lot. The wider point I was trying to make there, maybe not as well as I wished, is that there's a certain amount of theater even to live news, you know? Do you think they're gonna let me on CNN again?
Sure.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
Who do you support? Do you want us to be silent? Do you want us to be silent? That's what
There's an argument between these two different camps. Oh, we do elections. Oh, we do activism. Hundreds of people walked out, right? So for me personally, it's a matter of playing an inside-outside game. And it's crazy. You have to do both at the same time. They have to work in tandem and in sync and side by side. You know, the inside part of it's officially settled now. Now we got to work on the outside, which means getting on the streets and organizing and demonstrating and putting pressure on
your
administration.
work is not done?
Not done at all, no. And this stuff's more fun as long as it stays peaceful. We got a lot of progress in the Democratic platform, and that's all well and good. But now it comes down to making people accountable and making them get those changes into effect. I think we have an upcoming generation of people that are willing to push back against the status quo, that they're concerned about concentrated power and corruption and all these things.
We're getting a lot of mixed messages. We don't know quite where people are. All those in favor of going to the park,
that we all disperse tonight and meet again tomorrow.
There's no reason to be pessimistic about it. It's just keeping people involved and engaged. We're talking about meeting tomorrow. I'm calling it a night. And informed. So the way I'm thinking is more of a long-term game of what pieces do you have to change on the electoral front or politically in order to get this kind of social change, you know? That's part of what Bernie's been talking about too, is getting people involved at the ground floor and organizing to get people elected to local office. Who's the mayor? Who are the members of the common council? Who's the sheriff? And sure, that's not the most exciting thing in the world, but if you really want to tackle a social problem like a failing school system, it really matters who these people are. Any paperwork you need to submit, you got to pick them up from here. So the last couple weeks has been nearly a daily basis, you know? Hey, good morning. So the letter will come in and I can decline one of them. And cool. All right, thanks guys. I'm currently running a DA's campaign for Mark Satcha. He's running for Erie County's district attorney.
I think the only way that we can win is by taking some kind of educated guess at who we're focusing on.
Which doors we want to knock on, which neighborhoods, and then, you know, getting a phone banking campaign going. The biggest crisis we have is civic participation, people that don't want to get involved in politics.
The question, Brian, is, and it's going to be a question for you on anything else you do, is who's going to vote in this primary?
But I think my getting involved in this is something that a lot of people can do. You don't need to be particularly skilled to just get a group of people and say, hey, this sucks for us, you know, let's do something about it.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.